We're taught pretty much from day one to fear failure, right? To see it as this big, scary, final thing, a full stop. But what if that's all wrong? What if failure is actually a beginning? In this explainer, we're going to dive into what I like to call the alchemy of failure, the magic of turning our biggest setbacks into the very fuel for our greatest achievements. Winston Churchill just nailed it with this one. It's such a powerful way to look at things. It's not about never failing, and it's definitely not about reaching some finish line called success. It's all about what happens in between. It's about having the guts to get back up and try again. That idea, that resilience, is the real secret sauce. That's exactly what we're going to unpack today. So this brings us to a really fascinating idea. It's called the failure paradox. And it's this kind of weird, counterintuitive thing, where if you look at the people you admire most for their success, you'll almost always find that their story is packed with way more failures. Their secret isn't that they figured out how to avoid failing. Nope, it's that they absolutely mastered the art of failing forward. And here it is. This is the single most important shift in perspective you can make. We have to stop thinking of failing as some kind of final grade on who we are or what we're capable of. It's not a judgment. It's just data. That's it. It's pure, simple feedback that's telling you, hey, this approach didn't work. And that information is incredibly valuable for figuring out what will work. And if you want to see that idea in action, look no further than Thomas Edison. This quote says it all. He didn't see himself as a guy who failed thousands of times trying to make a light bulb. Not at all. He saw 10,000 necessary steps. It was a process of elimination. Every single failure just crossed one more possibility off the list and brought him one step closer to the solution. For him, failure was literally the roadmap to his success. Okay, so we get the concept, but how do we actually start living it? Well, it all starts inside our own heads. It begins with our mindset, because before we can change what we do about failure, we have to fundamentally change how we think about it. So let's dive into what that really looks like. All right, this brilliant breakdown comes from the work of psychologist Carol Dweck. She found that people tend to have one of two core mindsets. Someone with a fixed mindset believes their intelligence and talents are just fixed. They are what they are. So when they fail, it feels like a personal judgment, like a stamp that says, you're not good enough. But someone with a growth mindset, they believe they can learn and grow. So for them, a challenge isn't something to avoid, it's an opportunity. Failure isn't a verdict, it's just a lesson.
Now, if a growth mindset is the engine, then you're gonna need some fuel. And that fuel is something researcher Angela Duckworth calls grit. Now, this isn't just about bouncing back once. Grit is that combination of passion and true perseverance for your long-term goals. It's about sticking with something for years, even when it's hard. The growth mindset tells you, hey, this setback isn't the end of the road. And grit is what gives you the energy to get back in the car and keep driving.
Okay, so we've worked on our thinking. We're ready to see failure as data. We're trying to cultivate that growth mindset and find our grit. Now, let's get practical. Let's talk about the concrete things you can actually do when you inevitably run into a wall.
Can you get more direct than that? Michael Jordan doesn't just tolerate failure, he credits it. He doesn't say he succeeded in spite of missing thousands of shots. He says he succeeded because of them. Each miss was a piece of data. That mindset is the absolute core of taking action. So here it is, a simple but incredibly powerful 4-step plan.
Step 1, analyze the mistake. Don't just get upset and move on. Really dig in and figure out what happened. Squeeze every drop of learning out of it. Step 2, persist. Seriously, just keep showing up. The real breakthroughs happen on the other side of wanting to quit. Step 3, take calculated risks. You can't win if you're not even playing the game. And finally, step 4, build your support system. Because let's be real, nobody, and I mean nobody, does anything great completely alone.
Let's just double-click on that second step for a moment. Persistence. Think about J.K. Rowling. Her manuscript for Harry Potter wasn't just rejected once or twice, it was rejected by a dozen publishers. It would have been so easy for her to just put it in a drawer and give up, but she didn't. Her relentless persistence is the only reason we have that incredible world today. It's proof that consistent effort over time can break down any wall.
And that leads right into step 3, taking action. Look, the fear of failing can be completely paralyzing. But here's the honest truth. The only way to guarantee failure is to do nothing at all. Think about the early days of SpaceX. We all saw those rockets exploding on the launch pad. Those were huge, public, incredibly expensive failures. But for Elon Musk and his team, that was just more data. They took the risk, analyzed what blew up, and took action again. That is how you beat fear. And finally, we get to step 4, your support system. Jim Rohn's famous quote here is so profound because it's so true. The people you surround yourself with have a massive impact on you. If your circle is full of people who are afraid of failure, who criticize every new idea, well, it's going to be almost impossible to grow. But if you surround yourself with people who cheer you on, who pick you up when you fall, you create an environment where success becomes not just possible, but probable.
So, as we start to wrap this up, the real goal here is to completely reframe how we see these moments. We need to stop seeing failures as stumbling blocks that trip us up and send us backward. We need to start seeing them for what they really are, stepping stones. Each one gives you a boost, a higher place to stand for your next attempt.
If you only remember one single thing from our time together today, please let it be this. Failure isn't just something that's bound to happen. It's not just inevitable. It is invaluable. It is one of the most powerful tools for growth you will ever have. It teaches you, it makes you stronger, and sometimes it redirects you to a path that is way better than the one you were even on.
And so, I want to leave you with a question, a challenge, really. Don't think about some huge failure from years ago. Think smaller. Think right now. What's one thing that didn't go as planned today or this week? A small mistake, a little setback. What can you learn from it? What invaluable piece of data is sitting right there waiting for you to pick it up? Because learning to do that, right there, is the real alchemy of success.